I didn't like Remi at all when I first met him. I thought he was kind of a jerk.
Well, we would work out before we go anywhere every day, but especially before we go out. We jump on the dip rack because we had a dip rack at our apartment, or we run up the hill over there and do some push-ups, do a real good workout, put on some flip-flops, some jeans, tight t-shirt, just go out and we get a good meal somewhere cheap.
Pasta joint.
We get a pasta joint, get some good meals.
Good girl.
We'll go down there and get carved up, and then we'd be out. Going out tonight, dog, yeah. And we put on some T.I. Hey, let's get away. And then we go hunting. We on a hunt. And then we were savage, to say the least. We took care of our bodies. We had really good rhetoric. We knew how to speak to people. And we were not bad-looking men. We were charismatic. We made people feel good about themselves and they wanted to be around us. And that was advantageous if you wanted to meet women. And some of the most beautiful women were in San Diego. And we took advantage of our charm and our charisma. Because all we wanted to do was become SEALs and gain the confidence, if you will, of the ladies. We really enjoyed being around the ladies. They enjoyed being around us. But we ate, slept, buds, and women. That's all we thought about. Yeah. Being SEALs and getting women.
I first saw him at a club with my boyfriend when he was picking everybody up. He pulls up to the club with this super nice car, acting like the alpha, rounding all the boys up. But it was always kind of, like I said, flashy and a little boastful. Yeah, like I got this.
I remember we were at the Fashion Valley Mall one day, just going down, shopping, buying t-shirts. Or we might have been going to Boss, because Boss was one of our favorite stores at that mall. And we passed through, it was in front of the store. There was a lady in the window looking at something. And I went right in front of her just so she could see me. I started talking to the girl. We both started talking to her. Was it just? No, it was both of them. Two of them were there. Remi and I passed by them. They saw us. We started talking to them. I think we went out to dinner with them that night. And the rest is history. They were good girls. And we were good dudes. They were good girls. Of course, we were good dudes. Excuse me, but we wasn't like dirty savages. We were savages, but we were still respectable. These girls could take us home to meet their parents. They could. For the most part. I mean, yeah, we didn't do any drugs. We didn't get drunk.
Yeah, that's true.
We wouldn't commit any crimes. We just like being around the ladies, which is, it's human. It's human.
So technically, I'm the one that set them up, but it really wasn't my idea. It was, I was dating his roommate at the time. My boyfriend at the time, his name was Pat. I remember asking my boyfriend at the time, like, okay, if I give Remi her number, is he gonna treat her good? Like, is he a good guy? And he vouched for him, of course. My hopes for their relationship was, it always seemed a little shaky, but I always hoped that they would make it, just because I got a chance to get to know Remi on a personal level, and he seemed sincere, and he seemed like he really cared about her too.
That didn't help our cause at all. That didn't help us to mature at all, because what women want, in my humble opinion, is to feel secure, safe, and they want to live a good life, which is fine. They should. And living in Portofino, in San Diego, is living a good life. It was a beautiful place. And we took full advantage of that. Remi and I threw Super Bowl parties and just parties, just to be throwing parties. And again, we were good people because people want to hang out with us, but we had ulterior motives, and that was to get a woman, you know.
Remi was a good example of that because as she gave more and more and more into that relationship, he fed that insecurity with the things that she'd find, like the earrings on the bottom of the bed, or him not answering a phone call, and how I would just see her spiral with small little things like that.
Yeah.
But it was because that's what happens in a woman's mind. You take one little tiny thing, you can start spiraling out of control. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. Like, you, and I don't want to say you, but she was hurt a lot of the time by Remi. And it wasn't just the breakups, but it was things that would happen during the relationship. Just feeling like she wasn't important, like she wasn't made a priority, or, you know, even her feelings weren't acknowledged. There was always a thread of frustration.
Well, back in the day, we were very young-minded, and we were very, very selfish because we were not brought up like that. You know, our mothers were God-fearing women, salt of the earth, and we did not respect women like we should have back then. When he broke up with her, I was pretty mad at him because I thought that she really tried very hard at their relationship, and I just thought basically he was a jerk. And but I was relieved on one hand that they had broken up, but at the same time I knew that he cared about her, and so I did hope that eventually they would work it out. Plus I knew how much she cared for him. But now, the way I am now, you know, I have a daughter, and it's tough to look back at that because there are going to be guys like me and Remi that's going to see my little girl and say, that's a gazelle. That's a wounded gazelle, because that's what we used to say. It's a wounded gazelle. Let's separate her from the herd. We had that lion mentality, and I look back at that and I'm ashamed because I've got a little girl now, and I have a wife that almost got caught up in that horrible, horrible onslaught. But I've learned. But what's good about that, I've learned, and I have a chance to pass it on to my son, you know, not to treat women the way your father did, you know, and your Uncle Remi, because we were savages. We got lucky and found two women who believed in us enough to say, you know what, their pastors are past, they're good men, and we believe them, they're going to take care of us. And luckily, they did. They gave us a chance to prove ourselves. But yeah, Remi and I were savages. We were savages. But I think that's what made us better men, because you can look back at that and see, you know what, that was wrong. I was wrong, and I can pass the good stuff on to my children, and I can help protect my little girl, because I can say, you know what, I seen that before. I know what that guy has in his head, you know, so be careful. Yeah. And I can tell my son, you treat that girl like you want your sister to be treated. All right? I put that in him right now. I say, you are going to protect your sister. You. So.
I'm kind of grateful I didn't know Remi that well back then. Like, I only knew the avatar that he presented to me at the time. But, you know, I've been able to see him grow and mature from somebody that was in, you know, his mid-20s to somebody who's in his mid-30s now. And just the growth I've seen in that amount of time is unbelievable. Not just as an outsider, you know, saying, oh, look at his success, but as a friend, being able to see, like, how comfortable he is with himself and how he's fulfilling his purpose. And, you know, just what a great example he is becoming to his children. Remi's story and his point of view I think that any woman, not any, but I think some women reading this, honestly, I think it will bring to the surface some of their insecurities and some of the things that they've already thought in their head. But I think it'll also give hope that a man, no matter how messed up he seems, God can really turn him around. And God can really turn him into a man of character.